I had a death in the family. Wife passed away and stepped out away from the show, stepped away from the company for a little while.
Sorry to hear that, bro.
Yeah. Death, I mean, death is a part of life, right? But at a young age, you just don't expect it. And I think that's the one thing that can catch all of us, any of us off guard. I know it did myself, At that time, you're planning your whole future and your whole life. And then all of a sudden, that's gone.
Right.
But, you pick up the pieces and you move on. You can't, she's in a better place. She was strong woman of God, very, very strong woman of God.
Aren't those the most attractive?
To me, absolutely. I don't want to get into my current relationship, but it involves an atheist, and nothing against atheists, but it's just as a Christian, our chemistry is very difficult. I'm a Republican, she's a liberal.
What's going on, you guys? This is Devahntau Colonel. Welcome to the first episode of the Inspired Challenge podcast. This first guest, I'm super excited about, you guys. Tony is a man who just bears his heart and his soul, and he doesn't hold a lot back. I love that about him, and you just get so many real moments with him. So I hope that you guys can enjoy this first episode. It's going to be broken up into 3 parts. So I hope you enjoy this first one, and I'll see you guys at the end of this video. What's going on, folks? This is Devahntau Colonel here with the Inspired Challenge podcast, episode 1. Welcome. With me today, I have Mr. Tony Taylor. Tony, introduce yourself to the people.
Hey, Tony Taylor with InPhaze Electric. We're an electrical service providing company here in town. Good Christian, conservative, Republican man I am.
Hey.
Not perfect, definitely not living by 2 Peter or anything like that. But, for our scripture scholars out there, they can appreciate what I mean about a man of God, So, highest rated and reviewed in town. It's my beliefs are, like I said, Christian beliefs. So I tend to run my company with that in mind, a little bit of generosity, a little bit of, doing everything I can for my fellow man, whatever that looks like. And now I'm moving on to a stage in my life, Devahntau, that, I can start doing for others in a much bigger way. So I'm kind of excited about that, and very interesting that this happened. You just contact me out of the blue, and us not really knowing each other, but me
this man didn't know if I was gonna have him show up somewhere and take him, but he showed up regardless. So props to this man.
Look, I know the podcast is a big thing. You see it all the time. There's a lot of Joe Rogan, for instance. That's somebody I know. You mentioned who else earlier? What was his name?
Andrew Tate.
Yeah, a few names like
Ross.
that. Yeah. So, I know that that's huge. And, for me, I'm in a position as a business owner that I am active every day. I'm totally involved, day-to-day activities. Was working this morning up on a ladder. I don't normally do that, but today I did. I had to help my brothers out, when they need a hand, I'll help them out if I have to.
A good leader leads from the front,
yes,
not from
sir.
the back.
Yes, sir. So, my goals are, is to get a little bit more vocal, to get a little bit more out there, get more involved in the community. And I was very interested in what you presented, as far as apprenticeship and the young generation coming up. A lot of hopelessness going on out there with this young generation.
It's insane.
Yeah. So, hopefully my goal was to come here and discuss with you the things that you presented to me that I think could benefit society in general. Hopefully, I mean, as far as people say the American dream is dead. That's not true.
Right.
But you're gonna work your ass off for it. You're gonna work for it. It ain't easy. You gotta grind, and you gotta be smart. And that's something we need to work on. That's something that America needs to work on. That's something that parents need to work on is education. Education is huge. It's so big, and I've learned some things lately about education that blew my mind, about funding for schools that I don't agree with, that actually the Arkansas governor just changed that law to where if I'm not mistaken, don't get me on some fake news here, okay? But this is what I heard.
Disclaimers.
Yeah, disclaimers. Yeah, this is what I heard. So instead of the funding going from county to county, jurisdiction to jurisdiction, which in the richer neighborhoods, those kids get a better education than the poor neighborhoods, because the taxes in the poor neighborhoods is what's paying for the schools, the taxes in the rich paying for those schools. So it ain't fair.
Yeah.
It ain't fair. That is a problem. That needs to be fixed. That's just me. I'm saying it right now. And I thought I heard some, maybe the lady in Arkansas, I don't know, but I thought I heard a little birdie the other day say that they were working towards something like that. But, it shouldn't be like that. But, anyways, back on topic.
No, that's great because, people get riled up when it comes to things like presidential elections. And it's like every 4 years, suddenly everybody's an expert in whatever the thing is. But then in the time throughout, there's no discussion about things at the local level, the state level, the county level, anything.
Well, there is here. This is where things are changing. Social media, people are seeing it, they're hearing about it. But the problem is that us guys out here in the trenches, we got to keep it real. There's 100%. you got politics, and you got a lot of money involved right there. That is really this is money right here that he paid for. This all money right here. All this setup is money. So, and it could get big, you never know. I mean, it could get big.
Hopefully.
Yeah, you never know. And you know what? When things get big, keep it real. That's the thing. I mean, I'm not going to say how big I am, but I'll tell you, I keep it real. I'm not getting rich. Do I live well? Can I go anywhere I want right now? Yes. And I can't buy anything I want. I can't buy a Ferrari unless somebody else sign off on it. I'll come buy it if they'd let me. But then I can't I might not be able to make the payments. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
you're like, this is more like a rental, guys.
Yeah, I'll bring it back in a week. But I'm driving a nice vehicle. I live in a modest little 3-bedroom house. I got neighbors. I ain't nobody, and that's not what I want. I don't want to be some rich guy. Who was it recently, the rapper, I think, that sold all his big stuff? 50 Cent, wasn't it?
Was it 50 Cent?
I think. I could be wrong. Again, disclaimer. Here we go.
I didn't know somebody was doing that where they were just
It was somebody that sold off all their expensive stuff and moved into a neighborhood like where I live at. They ain't got no guards, ain't got this, ain't got that. Because you don't need all that clout. Ain't that important.
Man, I mean.
Who's that important? And if you are that important, get more unimportant. I don't know.
Right, where people are coming after you on that level.
That's just too important at that point, man. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Yeah, that kind
people
of
follow me around or something, all this crazy fame.
And you're just constantly like, somebody go check that first. Absolutely.
Watch yourself, Devahntau. Don't you get too famous now, man. Let it get to you.
Oh, I've got a long way to go. And oh, man. It'll be a nice little while. One day.
Yeah, you never know, man.
So Tony, you were saying you brought up the fact that you try to run your business in a way that's super fair, which is like it's
fair and honest.
And that's something that I think from what I've seen with a lot of businesses, and like the rate that this man told me that he pays his people after they have demonstrated competency is insane. So I don't know if you want to say, you don't have to say.
Yeah, I don't got a problem. I love it. Generosity, there's a lot to be said about generosity. I believe in, I don't like to say this, but if I say to you, hey, I'm going to pay you what you're worth. What's that mean to you? How does that make you feel deep down inside, what you're worth?
Right. Come on, man.
Like, don't tell me you're gonna pay me what you're worth. I feel like hourly wage. I feel like the way a lot of things are right now, it just ain't. I don't like it. I had a word for it, but I ain't even gonna go there because it just ain't right. I don't feel like it's great, and I know that companies have to do what they have to do to try to survive and this and that and the other. But I think the biggest problem first is greed. And then if you didn't have greed, what would you have? The opposite of that would be generosity. So how do you fix society? How do you fix our economy? How do you fix all that? People need to stop being greedy. Like the love of money is the root of all evil.
A lot of people get that wrong. They've confused it that money is the root, but the actual, as you said, the love of it, the desire of it, the I need it in order to.
What is money? I'm gonna ask you, Devahntau. What do you think, man?
What is money? Money is originally supposed to be the show of the value that we're able to bring. It's our way of, if we have a crop back in the day, we would trade our crop for another person's.
So currency. Now we're gonna call it currency. That's
absolutely
currency, right? So what does it say on here? There's something about a legal tender somewhere. Well, it says in God we trust. That's interesting. Did you ever notice it said that?
You know,
they're going to take that off there for long. You heard all the crazy tricks about what's inside of all of these things. Man, I got $100 bill in here. Let me take that out.
Tony's doing so good, you guys.
I got $100 bill. It said on here somewhere legal tender, something to that effect, Federal Reserve note. Federal Reserve note, right? So it's just a piece of paper, don't do nothing. But it's a tool.
Yes.
In my opinion. If somebody asks me what money is, I say it's a tool. It's a tool. With money, I can buy a car. With a car, I can go to work. I go to work so I can make more money so that I can now have tools to facilitate things in my life. Some people facilitate too much in their life. Maybe they buy too much and they get overextended, which is America. And why do they do that? Because they work hard and we want to play harder.
Yeah.
I'm about that, but I play in different ways. Not any weird ways either. Maybe a little too much rum and coke now and then, but that's about it. I don't get carried away. Go to the beach, go on little trips, plan your vacations and go see things. Hey, let me say that right now. I've been all over this country, man, and it's an amazing place to go. There's a lot to see. People's like, well, you got your passport? I'm like, what I need a passport for, man? You know how much stuff there is to do in this country?
So much to see here.
And it ain't that I'm a nationalist or what are you, fascist or whatever. It's just that this country's got a lot to offer. And personally, I don't like the thoughts of driving across some big pond. Things can happen up in the sky. I was an aviation electrician in the Navy, so yeah, things can happen. On F-18s. Ask me what my favorite movie was last year. Can you guess, right?
Oh, it was
Tom
a great
Cruise,
movie, too.
Maverick.
Oh, it was so good.
I done seen it like 5 times.
I saw it twice within a 2-week span, and I have no problem getting the DVD when it comes to that point.
So now to feel old, I was actually in the Navy when they had F-14s, right? They don't have them really anymore. They're just relics. Now they got that 22, the F-22. But my jet was a F-18, so they were the bad boys of the sky at the time. And we were a squadron that was based out of California, but we trained against pilots in Top Gun. So our pilots were former Top Guns, a couple of them Top Gun pilots. So we would have to go down there. Yeah, it was fun, man.
So you guys were
my Navy days was real fun.
What? Hot. I didn't expect to have someone so well versed in all the different experiences that the country has to offer.
So going back, to what we started talking about at a very young age, man, I was very fascinated with electricity. And to me, the way I see the world, and I'm a little bit of, I don't know if people seen that show, The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, yeah.
Sheldon.
Cult classic.
Sheldon,
right?
People
love it.
So I'm kind of the Sheldon type. A little bit, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but I'm smart. I'm intelligent, But because I learned, I learned, took knowledge.
Is that my phone? That is me.
Oh, that's our alarm. It's intermission time, folks. We're going to take a pause. Look, you're already getting famous, man.
I'm telling you.
Who is that?
I need a security
That's 50
guard
Cent
for this
called
phone
us
right
because
here.
we mentioned
Yikes. 50, I'm busy, bro. Let me get back to you. I'll be right back with you. All right, so we got it.
Yeah, I mean, I knew what I wanted to be. When I was a kid, man, I ain't gonna lie, I had this giant Winnie the Pooh, and I was just a little squirt, 4 or 5, 6, I don't know, but I used to stick them bobby pin things that my mom was keeping her hair into the sockets.
Oh no!
And
Parents,
and
this
it
is
went
why you
pop,
put
in the fire, and then the
put the
lights would go
protection
out.
in your sockets, parents, please.
Well, now it's code that you install tamper-resistant receptacles.
Yes.
So just like you don't even have to do that anymore. Just call me. I'll take care of you. We put these new ones in. But I was fascinated with that. And then later on through life, I got interested in sound. I was Prince, Michael Jackson, Madonna. I was a pops guy. I didn't like Bon Jovi. Sorry, I
Some people, that's their favorite.
that was their whole
with
thing in that time. My man remembers. Hey,
the Guitar Hero.
Let's introduce our producer back here.
Oh yeah,
anyways.
Mr. Producer.
Right?
Feel free. You want to come in, say a little hi, something, poke your head in with the people here. This right here, everyone, this is the person that made the podcast possible. This is my uncle, Julius Colonel, he's been an entrepreneur for years himself. Say something to the people.
Well, I am Julius Colonel. I don't know if you can hear me.
Let him step in.
Yeah.
Okay. And yes, I am entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I think ever since I was, when I first started working, I never really wanted to do the 9 to 5. So owning my own business was always something that was instilled in me. My dad, he owned a restaurant, so we was in the kitchen, always cooking and cleaning and doing dishes. So I believe that put the fire in my entrepreneurship, I think.
Right, and it's true. The man has been personal training, pharmacist, you were an electrician for a little bit, right?
Yeah, when I went to school, I did a little bit of electrician apprenticeship, but I knew that's not something I wanted to do, though. So I had to move on to something else. But I was always jack of all trades, trying to learn different things and hopefully find that special niche. But no, here I am. I'm still here. I'm still trying to grind. Try to do my thing.
And you guys, of course, with him being an entrepreneur in his own right, he's going to be coming on the show. We're going to have a whole segment that covers all the different exploits and all the different paths that he's traveled. So definitely be sure to tune in with that one. That may be our next episode that we cover here. And we'll be getting into that. So definitely tune in for that. Let's go ahead and continue on here.
It was a pleasure getting us on the show, man. I appreciate it. Great guys here, it seems like, as far as I can see.
It's this right here. It's something so special to me because it took so much, like the room that we're in. My girlfriend told me about it. My uncle financing it, learning how to use some of the equipment from some of the people at my church. Yourself for being willing to sit down. Like none of this is a culmination of my skills. It's all blessings that I've been just over endowed with the generosity of people around me. So I got to give that up to
That's amazing.
to the Lord God on that one.
Yes, sir. Amen, man. That's good. I mean, I like I was saying earlier, I found it to be interesting what you had sent over and that you reached out. And, honestly, that's never happened to me before.
Really?
Never. Other than the radio show that I'm on now. Shout out WDBO 107.3 FM.
Main host, huh?
No. We're a group, a panel of guys.
Okay.
It's myself, electrician. You got a flooring lady on there that owns a flooring company. You got Bill Burke on there. He's S&W Kitchens, and Tim Paderaki, that's windows and doors. So, there's a few groups missing, but we can only fit so many people in there.
But whose idea was that to start that up? Was that?
Oh, that's been going on for years. That show's been on for, I don't know, at least maybe 20 years.
Oh wow! So you guys are the face that kind of represented at this time right now.
Yeah, Bill and them been on there for, I know, 15. I've been on there for 4 or 5. I had a death in the family. Wife passed away and stepped out away from the show, stepped away from the company for a little while.
Sorry to hear that, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, death. I mean, death is a part of life, right? But at a young age, you just don't expect it, and I think that's the one thing that can catch all of us, any of us, off guard. I know it did myself. At that time, you're planning your whole future and your whole life, and then all of a sudden, that's gone.
Right.
But you pick up the pieces and you move on. You can't. She's in a better place. She was strong woman of God, very, very strong woman of God.
Aren't those the most attractive?
To me, absolutely. I don't want to get into my current relationship, but it involves an atheist, and nothing against atheists, but it's just as a Christian, our chemistry is very difficult. I'm a Republican. She's a liberal. She's an attorney. I'm a CEO. Like, it's two whole different worlds.
How is that possible that those worlds are
separated? We're separated. She lives in another house. She just moved out.
My man Tony keeps it 100% real, you guys.
Well, we were going to talk about relationships, weren't we, Devahntau? So come on. I'm going to lead into that, bro. I didn't even mean to, but, that worked out great. Oh, man.
Dude,
sorry.
This has got to be probably the greatest pilot episode I could have ever hoped for, I swear.
I was hoping it would be. It's a pilot for me as well, man. This is to launch my political career, Devahntau. So hopefully it gets us there. I got to be. That's why I told when I was coming over, I said, did you guys check him out? Like, is this guy Antifa? Is he KKK? Like, who is this guy?
What am I going to have to
I
answer
didn't look
for
you
later
up
in
at
the
all.
future?
Like, I didn't look you up at all, really, except right when I was leaving. And I took your name, copied and pasted, dropped it into Google, and then there was an Instagram, and then there were some pictures. And I was like, well, he looks like a nice guy. I mean, he doesn't look like a murderer, so I'm going to just go. And
all the photos of baptism saved me, you guys. This interview wouldn't be happening if it wasn't literally for Jesus.
There you go. See, that's what I'm saying. If you would have been like in a mask, an anonymous mask, I'd be like, I ain't going.
Like red and black face paint all over with the fingernail tips
whatever.
and all that.
I ain't into no freaky stuff, man. I'm a good Christian boy, I promise. Never cheated on a girl in my whole life, and just,
which you must have had plenty of opportunity to being a man of the Navy and
plenty of opportunity for what? For the ladies? Yeah, but no. When I'm single, I'm very single. So we'll leave it at that. But when I'm with somebody, if I kiss a girl, that's my girl. I stay with her, and I do everything in my power that I possibly can to make things work and to be really, honest and realistic about what I was talking about being separated. That has been a strong challenge for me. I mean, my wife that passed in 2019, we were married 22 years. So I know what a healthy marriage and a healthy relationship should look like in God's eyes, following the, or however they want to put it. But, God, and then you got the head of the family, and then, it works down from there. So, as a father, as a husband, I would, like I was just saying before earlier, I wouldn't be in this business if it wasn't for her. As a strong believer, as a strong woman of God, supporting me, because there was so many times that, especially like our man Julius said earlier, I never liked it either. I did it because this is, I came out of the Navy. I wanted to stay in the electrical industry. Construction was like the easiest thing for me to do. But I've worked, I cannot give a man a resume. It's got 75 companies on it. I have worked at so many companies because when you're somebody that's let's think of Potiphar, right? Like the story of that and our oh, come on, tell me his name. Jacob, right?
Joseph.
Joseph, yes, thank you. There's a lot of J's out there.
There are.
So the story, with Joseph and Potiphar's house, and I'm on the right story, right?
Yeah, Joseph.
Yeah, okay,
Potiphar,
yeah, there we go. Yeah. So, that story right there is, Okay, I might have lost track. I hope I didn't. Reel me back in here. Being somebody that can facilitate and get things done and do it in a good, honest, best way practice. And then bad things happen, like bad things happen and it seems unfair, but you don't change that character. You keep that character moving forward, So for me, working those hourly jobs, being out there working and literally having a man spit on my boot one time, a racist man, by the way. And I had to deal with that. And I'm a white dude, and I didn't like what was going on, and that's why he spit on my boot. So, anyways.
The control that you had.
Yeah, man. Well, I almost lost control there, but I didn't. I just quit, and I left, and I took my buddies with me.
That's such a strong skill, too. I think a lot of people underestimate the power of
turning the other cheek.
Yes. Turning the cheek, being able to walk away, think about something. Maybe in the future there's a need to take an action, or maybe it's just go away from it forever. In your case, you decided to just walk away. How did you manage to not want to take that immediate action? Because that's something that
I did, but just simple restraint, because you have to be smart enough to realize what your actions and the consequences of what your actions are going to be. So you have to be in the moment. I think what happens with a lot of folks is they just ain't in the moment at that time. They just what we call snap. There's a show out there called Snapped. I have prayed to God to take me to those points in life, because those points in life teach you wisdom. I've literally
run that back. You said you prayed to God
literally
to take you to
God. Yeah. And then my wife dies and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So he's taken me there.
Wow.
And I don't give up. I ain't going to give up, because during the process of him taking me there, I'm learning the thing that I'm always asking him. And that is, what is it that you want me to do? Why am I here? God, I feel like I could do more. What is the next step? Maybe this is the next step. I don't know. It could be. It's a step. That's why I came here, because I felt like there was one little Christian thread in there, and I thought, well, I like that. I like that. As long as it's, the beliefs that I believe, which is the Bible, King James, the Bible, how it reads from, Genesis 1:1 to
I've got some friends that, we've been in a war recently about Bible versions.
Yeah, no. I got King James, and I got them all. I got the New Living, I got the American Living, and all this and that. I got the Dakes. I do like the Dakes. But there's some weird stuff in there too. But it's a good study Bible. Because another piece of history about me is I have been welcomed into ministry before. Right? Really? But I didn't go that route because of that 2 Peter we was talking about. As a man of God, you're going to get up and stand up here on the pulpit. You better be standing there pretty blameless. So when I was due to be ordained on Sunday and fornicated on Tuesday, that was that. I didn't show up, and I ain't been to church since. So that's that story.
The amount of self-accountability here.
Oh, I still do my drinking and smoke my cigarettes now. I went a little bit on the backslidden side, but that's okay. I still function. That's between me, myself, and God. Yeah. I don't have children at my house, so I'm not affecting them. Could it have had an effect on this recent marriage I was in? I don't know. Quite honestly, I'm the type that if you get me drinking, we can talk all night about anything you want to talk about. But we need to have like mind. Me and you having a great conversation about God. Can you imagine you're an atheist right now? What are we doing? We're going to be butting heads having a debate. Yeah. I'm not even going to talk about God with you. That's wisdom for me. People that are going to come to me and profess that I don't believe in God, that's cool, man. Do you? I'm gone. Like, I don't got to sit here and talk about this. There's people in the world that they're built for that. They're built to challenge and debate those topics, and that's good for them. It ain't for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to keep my head down and keep doing what I need to do for the people around me that are willing to let me be a part of their life, help lead them, help them to be successful in any way I can. And that way is very difficult, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I got all the keys to put $100,000 a year in your pocket next year. In 1 year, I can put $100,000. I can get you making $100,000 a year if you want.
You guys go work for Tony, man. Go work for Tony.
Well, they coming in the floodgates now. I got too many people now. I just need the phone to start ringing more. The phone's ringing more than most. But I mean, not only are we the highest rated and reviewed, but we're a big service company, $3 million a year. So I'm playing with the government, the IRS, and all of those guys with their hands out that want my money. Mm-hmm. It ain't my money; it's my company. This guy's money. This guy gets paid from this guy. This guy works real hard for this guy. Yeah, which is an entity that just has a name,
right?
Which, by the way, the purple and gold, if you know what those colors signify in the Bible, royalty. And then the red being the blood of Jesus, and the green is Green Planet. So those are the roots.
I have to tell you, Tony, right? Like there's so much wisdom in like the Bible, because it'll even tell, like, so you were talking about how you could have been the man on the pulpit, and what that comes with. Mm-hmm. But what I love is the fact that regardless of if you're the man on the pulpit, or you're the man at a customer's house, changing out something, or you're fixing up something. Mm-hmm. Every person of Christ has the ability to play their role the way that he needs.
Right.
Like the way that you're able to give true value to your clients, especially definitely to your employees, and the way that you do it in a manner that's filled with love, like that is in and of itself. Like there's going to be a moment where they look. And
it's a form of ministry.
Absolutely.
Right. I don't have to be in the pulpit. I just need to, I need to keep what my values, what my beliefs are. But again, Devahntau, that comes with education and knowledge.
So guys, this first segment, like I said, something that I loved. Tony and some of his experiences so far, and just his sense of humor, have been awesome to be able to do. If you like this, guys, definitely leave a like and a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you are not already, and share it out with somebody who you think might get some type of value from this, or who just might like to hear some type of discussion like this. And also, I'm going to be dropping part 2 to this interview on Wednesday, and then part 3 on Friday. So definitely, if you don't have the notification bell on, ring the notification bell, and I'll make sure that you guys get the notifications whenever those episodes are posted as well. 3-part series, really such a great way to kick it off. I could not have asked for a better first guest with more personality than Tony. It was an honor to have him. So if nothing else, maybe give a call to his company, tell him that you saw his interview, you really liked it, and just say, hey, I appreciate what you did. If you're moved to, don't feel compelled to by me. But thank you guys again for tuning in, and I can't wait to show you guys part 2 on Wednesday. See y'all then.